All right, thanks, guys. Happy Monday to you. Hope you had a great weekend, full of partying or relaxing or whatever you do to get the job done, whatever your prerogative is. But anyway, we got some lines and personal leans for Monday's NBA action, so let's go ahead and dive into that. Beginning with the Spurs at the Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Detroit. The Spurs opened the betting as the 3.5 point favorite, and the total at 214. Since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread, although we did see a 0.5 point move downward on the total. So once again, San Antonio opened -3.5. They remain -3.5. Total opened 214 down to 213 and a hook. San Antonio, well, 61% of the consensus is on them right now, and 55% of the consensus is shaded toward the over. Now, currently, Detroit's plus 140 for some money line cash. And if you like Detroit, just keep in mind their defense ranks first in 3-point defense. So, other teams not able to shoot the three ball against them. They're also 13-10 against the spread as the underdog. Now, San Antonio, on their side of things, they're 8-10 against the spread on the road. They rank 27th in field goal percentage allowed on the road. Now, total wise, San Antonio is 9-3 to the over in their last dozen when traveling. Meanwhile, on the Detroit side of things, they're 67% to the over in their games at the current posted total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, and take Detroit plus 4 and the over, 213.5 in that one. And before we go ahead and move along, I just want to take a quick time out and just welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Monday's NBA action. But before we go ahead and move into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, going 2 years back, and also a 3-0 record in my last 3 picks on that website, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. The link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you are watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. With all that said and done, let's go ahead and hop right back into some more lines and personal leans for Monday's NBA action. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Nets Celtics, 7:30 tip-off in Boston. The Celtics opened 10.5 with a total at 218 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing a steady and consistent fade of the Celtics in the early going here. We're also seeing movement upward on the total as well. Right now, the Celtics are -9.5 with the total moving upward to 219. So once again, Boston opened 10.5 down to 9.5. Total opened 218 and a hook up to 219 even. 53% are leaning Brooklyn, 60% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Nets are plus 415 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Nets to get the job done in this one, they are red hot right now. 12-3 straight up in their last 15. 12-4 against the spread in their last 16. This Brooklyn squad has also successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 7 on the road. They rank 7th in defense on the road in road scoring allowed. Now, Boston, on the other side, they're covering just 40% of their games at the current number. Boston defense is also ranking 26th in rebounds at home. And they're also covering just 46% of their games, taking on teams between 450 and 550 win percentage. Now, scoring-wise, 7 out of Boston's last 8 went over the total. Meanwhile, Brooklyn's 5-1 to the over in their last 6 themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Brooklyn plus 10 and the over 219 in that one. Next game, Jazz Bucks. 8 o'clock tip-off in Milwaukee. The Bucks open the betting as the 6-point favorite, and the total at 221.5. And since those markets opened this one up, we're actually seeing a slight fade of Milwaukee in the early going here. We're also seeing slight movement upward on the total as well. Right now, the Bucks are -5.5 with the total moving upward to 222. So once again, Milwaukee opened 6, down to 5.5. Total open 221 and a hook, up to 222 even. 61% are leaning Milwaukee, 57% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Jazz are plus 185 for some money line cash. And if you like the Jazz in this one, it is going to be tough sledding for you. They're taking on a Milwaukee team who successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 6. Milwaukee's also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 at home. Milwaukee ranks first in scoring on offense in the association. They're putting up 121 points per contest at home. Now Utah on the other side, they failed to cover in 6 out of their last 9 away from home. Utah's also ranking 26 in scoring on the road in the association. They're covering just 25% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Now scoring-wise, Utah is 4-1 to the over in their last 5. Milwaukee 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down. Take Milwaukee -5 and the over, 222 in that one. Next game, Grizzlies, Pelicans, 8 o'clock tip-off in New Orleans. The Pelicans open 6.5, total 212 and a hook. Since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a steady and significant fade of New Orleans in the early going here. We're also seeing movement upward on the total. Right now, the Pels are -5.5 with the total moving upward to 214. So once again, New Orleans opened 6.5 down to 5.5. Total open 212 and a hook up to 214 even. 60% are leaning New Orleans, 60% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Memphis is +185 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Memphis to get the job done in this one, I know they have a great defense. I know they keep these games very low when it comes to the total typically. But Memphis has not been themselves lately. And as a matter of fact, they dropped 8 out of their last 10 straight up. They've also failed to cover in 9 out of those 10 games. Just 1-9 against the spread in their last 10. This Memphis team is 30th in offensive rebounds. Their offense is scoring just 100 points per contest away from home. Now, New Orleans on the other side, well, they're putting up 119 points per contest at I believe it's the Smoothie King Center. But anyway, New Orleans is putting up 119 points per contest on their home court. They're second in the association in that category. They're also covering 57% of their games that were played at the current point spread. Now, scoring-wise, New Orleans 5-2 to the over in their last 7. Memphis, well, 5 out of their last 7 in New Orleans got over the total as well. So if you're into historical trends, a lot of overs between these two teams. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it down. Take the Pels -5 and the over, 214 in that one. Next game, Nuggets, Rockets. Where's that at on my... Oh, there we go. Nuggets, Rockets, 8 o'clock tip-off in Houston. The Rockets open -1 with the total at 215. Since those markets opened this one up, we've seen slight movement on both the spread and the total. Right now, Houston's -1.5 with the total moving upward to 215 and a hook. So once again, the Rockets open 1 up to 1.5. Total open 215 up to 215 and a hook. 65% are leaning Houston, 65% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Nuggets are +105 for some money line cash. Now, the Nuggets have been red hot in their past couple of weeks, 5-0 straight up in their last 5. They actually rank first in the association in defensive rebounds. Meanwhile, on the Houston side of things, they're covering just 40% of their games at the current number. They're also just 26th in the association in offensive rebounding themselves. Now, scoring-wise, Houston 67% of the over in their last dozen at home. Denver, 4 out of their last 5 got over the total themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take another underdog. I never take this many underdogs, but I like Denver in this one. I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Denver +2 and the over 215 and a half in that one. Next game, Lakers, Mavericks. 8:30 tip-off in Dallas. The Mavs open -6, total 221 and a half. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing steady movement toward Dallas. We're also seeing a little movement upward on the total as well. Right now, the Mavs are -8 with the total moving upward to 222 and a hook. So once again, Dallas opened 6 up to 8. Total open 221 and a half up to 222 and a hook. 59% are leaning Dallas, 54% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Lakers are +285 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Dallas in this one, they have successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 9. They're also covering an astounding 78% of their ball games on their home court. Now, on the Lakers side of things, we have Rondo out, LeBron James out. We also have Kuzma questionable with a back injury. Looks like he is going to be out tonight as well. And when it comes to the scoring, 5 out of Dallas's last 6 ball games did stay under the total. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward the Mavs -8 and the under 222.5 in that one. All right, next and final two games, it is going to be New York at Portland, 10 o'clock tip-off in Rip City. Portland's -11.5, total open 220.5 up to 221 and a hook. 56% are leaning Portland, 58% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Knicks are plus 560 for some money line cash. Now, Portland's covering just 44% of their games, taking on teams under 450. Their defense is also allowing 110 points per contest. That's 16th in the association. New York's 10-8 against the spread versus teams over 550. The Knicks also rank 10th in free throw shooting on the road. So if they can get to the line, they can certainly pick up enough free points to keep it within that 11.5 point spread. Now, scoring-wise, New York's 4-1 to the over in their last 5 on the road. Portland's offense is putting up 114 points per contest on their home court. So I think we'll see a little bit more scoring than most will think in this one, but I also think the Knicks can keep it close. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, take the Knicks plus 12 and the over 221.5 in that one. All right, next and final game for the show, it is going to be Orlando at Sacramento. 10 o'clock tip-off at the Golden One Center, I believe is what it's called. Sacramento open 5, up to -5.5. Total open 224, down to 223 and a hook. 59% are leaning Sacramento, 54% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Magic are plus 185 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Magic in this one, you might not be in a bad spot here. They're taking on a Sacramento squad who's dropped 5 out of their last 6 straight up. They've also failed to cover in 5 out of those 6 ball games. The Sacramento defense is 29th in opponents scoring. They also rank 30th in defensive rebounds. This Orlando defense, on the other side, is first in scoring on the road. So other teams just can't score in them on their home court. Orlando, they rank first in opponents scoring on the road this year. They're also 10-8 against the spread in their games away from home. This Orlando squad is covering 64% of their games at the current number. They're also 8-7 against the number as the official road underdog. Now, scoring-wise, Orlando is just 38% to the over on the road this year, 6-2 to the under in their last 8 when traveling. Meanwhile, Sacramento 6-1 to the under in their last 7, taking on Orlando. So with all that said and done, I'm going to finish off with another underdog. I've never picked this many dogs on a pick video, but I got to do it again. I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it up, take Orlando plus 6 and the under 223.5 in this one.